It's day 3, and today I'm talking about doing your neckband and your shoulder seams. So I have my pattern pieces cut out. So here is my front and back, and I have serged the 2 shoulder seams, or rather the 1 shoulder seam together on one side. If you do not have a serger, there are instructions on how to set up your machine to get the perfect zigzag for knit fabrics. Remember to make sure you're using your ballpoint needle as well. So I have that shoulder seam ready. So now I'm going to show you guys how to create the neckband. If you have sewn my patterns before, or if you know me, I love bias tape. This is basically a version of single fold bias tape before knit fabrics. So check it out. So as you can see, I have my neck binding strip that we cut out. I went ahead and ironed it nice and flat. Sometimes when you're working with a small amount, it can curl up a little bit with knits. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold our fabric with long sides together perfectly in half, and then I'm going to press as I go. You want to make sure that your edges are flush with one another so you don't have any overlap. So it's going to look like this. Okay, now that we have our binding folded in half, we're going to attach it to our neck band, or neck opening. So first, we are going to make sure that we are attaching it to the right side of the fabric and not the wrong side, because we're going to end up folding that inside. I'm going to start on the edge and line it up evenly. We want to make sure that the folded edge is facing down and that the raw edge is facing the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and start pinning that around, making sure my pins are perpendicular to the edge. And continue all the way around until it looks like this. Okay, now that we have our binding pinned to our neck opening, we're now going to sew it on the sewing machine. You do not have to do a zigzag stitch here. You can just use your regular straight stitch. I have moved mine from 2.5 to about 4 just to make sure it has a little bit of stretch, but it's not extremely important that you do that. When you set up your machine, you want to make sure that you are lining your raw edge or the neck opening up with the very edge of your presser foot. So get that guy underneath there. So see how it's lining up right flush with the edge of the presser foot. Now I'm going to start sewing and just sew all the way around the neck opening. When you're done, you are going to have a little bit of a tail, and you can go ahead and cut that off at this time. Now we have our neck binding on. Now we're going to fold it in towards the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I have the wrong side of the fabric, so I'm going to fold the neck binding towards the end of the fabric, the inside of the fabric, and you want to make sure that you've got that fold line there, the seam, right at the very top. So just go around pressing it towards the inside. Using lots of steam. Steam is your friend. Okay, now we have everything folded in, and as you can see, it is going to look like this on the inside of our garment. So what we want to do is we are going to now line up this folded, the seam edge up with our 1/4 inch marking on our machine. Okay, and if your needle position moves, you can move it to the far left to make this more helpful. And I'm going to line my seam, my neck opening, up with that 1/4 inch mark, and then I'm going to try and get as close as I can to this folded edge on the inside as I stitch around. So now it's going to look like this on the outside of the garment.